Hello and welcome back to another election watch analysis video. Today we'll be doing a 2024 presidential election prediction between incumbent Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor of Florida Ron DeSantis. Now, given that Joe Biden and Donald Trump don't run for the nominations of their respective parties, considering that Kamala Harris and Ron DeSantis are currently the frontrunners for the Democratic and Republican nominations respectively, if, again, the two leaders of their parties do not run again. So if that happens and these two are the nominees, I will be doing my election prediction between these two. So this prediction will also factor in that Kamala Harris is pretty unpopular right now, and essentially assume that trend continues and Kamala Harris is still disapproved of by 2024 and still is essentially blamed for many of the Biden administration's failures, such as the border, and Ron DeSantis remains popular. Without further ado, let's get right into the prediction with Ron DeSantis' safe states. So Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Montana, the Dakotas, and much of the Midwest will be safe, along with, of course, the South. So we see states like Mississippi, Alabama, and I think that actually South Carolina would move up to being safe. It was just barely likely back in 2020, 11.7%, and Ron DeSantis could definitely improve in the state as a whole just to win it by a safe margin. So then we have the rest of these states filled out, and that'll be all for Ron DeSantis. For Kamala Harris, the Pacific Coast will be safe, along with Hawaii and much of the Northeast, including New York, Illinois, Maine's 1st District. So now we head into likely states with the current electoral vote count at 181 for Kamala Harris and 122 for Ron DeSantis. For DeSantis, Iowa, Ohio, Alaska, I believe Texas and Florida, and Maine's 2nd District will all be likely states. So Texas and Florida, Ron DeSantis will do better in the suburbs and with Latino voters, and especially because he has a home state advantage with Florida, Ron DeSantis could definitely push these states over the likely margin. For Kamala Harris, Colorado, New Mexico, and Virginia will all be likely states. And now we get into some of the lean and tilt states, the closer states of this election cycle. I'll start out with the states that will be lean by a larger margin, around over 2 or 3%, and that would be Maine at large for Kamala Harris. And actually, Ron DeSantis won't have any lean states. I think that New Hampshire would actually go to Kamala Harris by another lean margin, which is definitely a downgrade from the 7% Joe Biden won it by. So I think around 2% for Kamala Harris, since Ron DeSantis would definitely improve with these white moderate voters in the state. So now we head into the tilt states for both of the candidates, besides Nebraska's 2nd, which I'm actually put into the lean column for Ron DeSantis. So Donald Trump actually won this by a lean margin back in 2020 against Hillary Clinton. And I do believe that Kamala Harris might actually get a very similar amount of support from Hillary Clinton. She might improve, but potentially she might even do worse. But anyway, the point of that is that Ron DeSantis could definitely win Nebraska's 2nd by a similar margin that Trump won it by back in 2016. So now we go on to the tilt states. And once again, I would like to put one other state in the lean column, which is Minnesota. And now we finally go on to the tilt states. So for Ron DeSantis, I think Wisconsin will be tilt. I'm actually put North Carolina as lean. And I think that Arizona will also be tilt for DeSantis because it is a border state and Kamala Harris's approval rating on the border is very, very low. And you definitely tire to that. So going on the trend of flips, I think that honestly all of the Rust Belt would be tilt for DeSantis. I think Wisconsin would go by the biggest margin, around 1% or even over that. But Kamala Harris has absolutely no blue-collar appeal. Ron DeSantis would improve in many of the suburban areas. And while Kamala Harris would have the benefits of minority turnout on her side, that would not be enough to single-handedly win the state, just with that factor alone. So with that, Ron DeSantis is elected the next president of the United States, 291 electoral votes. Kamala Harris has not yet surpassed Hillary Clinton's margin of 232 electoral votes, which is apparently now the baseline for any candidate. So anyway, we're just going to finish up with the last two states, Nevada and Georgia. I think Ron DeSantis wins Georgia by another tilt margin, bringing him to 307. Therefore, he has now outperformed Donald Trump's 2016 win. So the reason why Georgia is tilt despite being a Biden state is because Kamala Harris does not have the same appeal that Biden does among suburban voters. Joe Biden was a very good candidate for suburban voters, and Ron DeSantis would certainly roll back the gains. He also is from neighboring Florida, which could play an effect to his advantage. Anyway, with the win in win in Georgia, that again brings Ron DeSantis' total up to 307. And now we head into Nevada, which I think is a pretty hard state to predict. So essentially, Nevada is trending to the right overall, in my opinion. And essentially, the reason why I say that is because the Democrats' margin in Clark County has been growing smaller and smaller. And again, that region that pretty much gives the Democrats all their votes in the state of Nevada as a whole. So if Republicans continue to make gains with Hispanic voters, that could definitely help them. Meanwhile, Ron DeSantis is a very good candidate for Hispanic voters. There wouldn't really be an incumbent on the ballot, so even if you factor in the fact that Hispanics tend to go with incumbents, which has essentially been one of Joe Biden's best case scenarios, Kamala Harris is not the incumbent. She wouldn't have the benefactor of that. So Ron DeSantis definitely could improve there, but in the end, I think I'm going to put this as like tilt Harris. And the reason why I'm putting it as tilt Harris is because Democrats are still improving in the other counties that are more white and more moderate. So while Ron DeSantis would do very well there, Kamala Harris could definitely kind of hold her ground. She is from neighboring California. So if I say Georgia goes to DeSantis with help from his home state advantage, I have to apply that to Harris. She definitely would campaign a lot in Nevada, and I think that she would just hold enough ground with minority voters in Clark County, humble Las Vegas, to narrowly win the state. But there we have it. Here is the final electoral map. It is 231 to Kamala Harris and 307 for Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis is the clear victor here, and that is it for this video. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like, and you can subscribe for more content like this. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when my videos come out. You can also leave a comment telling me what your prediction would be and give me any feedback or suggestions for other videos. That is always appreciated. Check out the description, and you can join my Discord and my mock government Discord, which I have a lot of fun on, so I hope you join that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time.